So when you think of shiftiness and how the best ball handlers are the most shifty, what do you typically think of? The moves, the positions you get into with your dribble, your overall change of pace, kind of these larger ideas that go in to make you a shifty ball handler. But a lot of the time, once you get those things down, and I do have a lot of videos on those, it comes down to the little things, these little details or keys that you can apply with different dribbles, with different moves, in different situations. It can help you get your defenders over and over and over again. So in this video, I'm gonna give you 5 kind of low-key tips that maybe you've heard of, maybe you haven't, but I'll give you examples to kind of illustrate them too. And if you apply these things into how you dribble the ball and just try them out over time, you're gonna start to catch defenders off guard a lot more, be able to shift them out of position, and be ready for pretty much anything the defense gives you. Let's check them out.
Now, before we get into it, I want to give our Grow the Game shout out, which is where we share the story of one hooper that we come across in our travels. It may be inspiring or relatable. This one is our guy Love from Turks and Caicos. We went out there for an immersion through our nonprofit, the Athlete Empowerment Initiative, and this kid gained my respect immediately.
Everybody was better than me, and like I used to sit on bench.
For real?
Yeah, on the concrete, like it's outdoor court, but nobody
yeah.
me out
So
there.
you would be over there and sit on the court.
But now I'm better than most of everybody that started off before me.
Really?
Yeah.
Just working.
Yeah.
You're gonna separate yourself, both of you guys, for real.
It's just proof, man. You could be the worst player at the court, but with diligence and consistency, you can get to that level that you want to get to. All right, time for the video.
Number 1, and again, some of these will sound crazy, is your facial expression. If you think about how you typically look when you handle the ball, when you're dribbling, most times when you're about to make that move or you're about to explode past that defender, your eyes start to widen up. You start to make a face that typically kind of telegraphs what you're about to do, or at least the fact that you're about to do something. So if you're literally just dribbling here super casually with the face, maybe you're kind of exploring the court with your eyes, again, you're a little bit more relaxed. What does a defender do? Typically, they're gonna relax a little bit as well for you to go from here into a move, catch him off guard, and then set yourself up to make a nice move, get to the rim, kick out, whatever may happen. Now, come game time, you're probably not gonna be thinking about this. Actually, I don't want you thinking about this when you're playing in a real game. So, in your workouts, in your one-on-one, in your 3-on-3, your pickup games, this could be something to think about as you're starting to set up your moves or as you're kind of changing pace, setting up a play, because this is the time where you can work on it and again, be able to switch in between facial expressions. Number 2 is constantly flowing between relaxed and a little bit more fast or intense. Now again, we talk about speed changes a lot, but I think the feeling of being relaxed and then switching that up into a little bit faster or again, more intense movement is really what leads to a lot of shiftiness in some of the best ball handlers. Again, you'll see them really relax here, then they'll make one quick move, go back to relax, one quick move. So they're kind of flowing up and down or throughout that range of 0 to maybe 30 to then 80%, then back to like 10%. So again, now they're kind of waving up and down in terms of how relaxed they are and how fast or intense they're going. So again, if you're constantly switching between that relaxed state or that relaxed dribble and that really fast or intense dribble, it just feels more fluid. It feels more shifty when you're constantly switching between the two or across that spectrum. Number 3 is being able to rotate with your dribble. All right, so you see this with guys like Dennis Schroeder, Darius Garland, even Kyrie, of course, where they're constantly rotating, not even only at their trunk, but their entire body to set up moves. Number 1, as you can see here, what this does is kind of create a sense of, at least in the defender, it's not gonna go, he's rotated this opposite way, maybe he's looking at the teammate or looking at the coach, and then being able to explode out of that to make it more unpredictable. So it makes everything a little bit more tough to read, tough to predict from a defensive standpoint. And number 2, it actually gives you power. If I think about when I'm going off a crossover, if I'm just regular here, I stay squared the entire time and cross, yes, of course, I can get some power and explosiveness from that. But if I really load up and rotate here, kind of put this foot behind me and then explode, it's gonna add an extra 5 or 10% burst onto that move. So yes, it makes things more unpredictable, but it also helps you get a little bit of a turbo boost into that move. Number 4, which is kind of related to number 2, is being able to switch between high and low dribbles consistently. If you're always dribbling at one level here, every single dribble is kind of outside your frame, but it's about the same, even as you're going through different moves, it's gonna be a lot easier for that defender to predict you. But if you're constantly alternating and shifting the level of your dribble, sometimes you're up a little bit higher, higher, then lower dribble, back up high, and then a lower dribble. Again, this opens up more options or possibilities for you, and it's constantly throwing off the vision of the defender. And then lastly, number 5 is something that I talk about a lot, Instagram posts, etc. And it's just going at different times in your dribble. So typically, how do we explode off the dribble? In terms of the timing, it's at least 1, 2, explode. It's very rhythmic. It's 1, 2, go. What I want you to think about is how you can start going a little bit earlier or later than usual. So instead of 1, 2, go, now you're 1, 2, 3, oh, go, right before that third. All right, so see how it's kind of on the way down. It's like a delayed explosion. As that ball is kind of floating down, you push out. Same thing, I could go a little bit earlier. So now I'm 1, 2. Instead of going as it gets to that 3, I'm going before it gets to that 3. So if I'm going with it between the legs, maybe instead of going 1, 2, 3, I go with the 1, 2, and then a quick third, or I can go 1, 2, and right as I'm about to get into that third one, I explode a little bit delayed. So again, it's just finding ways to be unpredictable. I found that more important than anything, the more unpredictable you are as a ball handler, the better. Because you don't have to throw a super wide or shifty cross at somebody. When you can catch them off guard, they feel behind, they feel delayed. Now they're going to compensate for that, make a big jump, and even a simple cross can get them from there. So again, these are 5 really nitpicky things, but it's kind of what we have to focus on if we want to take our shiftiness, our ball handling to that next level. Hopefully you enjoyed these. As always, thanks for tuning in. See you next time.
As I always say, you guys are much appreciated for the support. If you're interested in taking your handles to the next level over the course of 3 months, make sure to check out the Ultimate Ball Handling Program, which I'll put the link for in the description. Also, check to see where I'm coming next. We're coming to a bunch of countries over the next few months to connect with you guys, teach, learn from the basketball cultures there, and hopefully grow the game a little bit. If not, no worries, keep tuning in. You guys are family.